2 weeks ago, the Blue Hens here at Delaware Stadium knocked off the #1 team in the country in Rutgers. Here we are today with now the #3 Hofstra Pride, led by goalkeeper Jack Concannon. It should be a good one. The #3 Hofstra Pride taking on the unranked Delaware Blue Hens. It's the CAA Game of the Week on Lac Sports Network.
Get his hands free. Beautiful look. The shot. Works out of an 8, baby.
Lac Sports Network is proud to present the CAA Game of the Week today. The #3 team in the nation, the unbeaten Hofstra Pride, pay a visit to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens, a team just 2 weeks ago beat the #1 team in the country in Rutgers. And welcome to Delaware Stadium in Newark, Delaware. Bugs Combs and Brendan Glasheen. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Well, today we have Hofstra running the tables so far, one of 2 undefeated teams in the country. And then you have a Delaware team 2 weeks ago, like we just mentioned, beating Rutgers. This is a big one because Delaware is trying to get to 1-1 in the league, and Hofstra can go to 2-0.
Yeah, the CAA is a dogfight. It's a great conference. Right behind the ACC and the Big Ten, I think they rank. And this is going to be a great game on the field. You're going to see 2 teams really coming to bring it. Delaware 0-1 in the conference, Hofstra 1-0 in the conference, and I think you're just going to really see 2 teams trying to get positioned in the conference and get an extra win.
And a determining factor for Hofstra this season for that 9-0 start is Jack Concannon. 7 of Hofstra's 9 games, he's had double-digit saves. He's been a rock in front of the cage.
He has. He was a first-team 2016 All-CAA member, third-team preseason All-American for this year, and he's living up to it. He's made unbelievable saves, all different types of saves, and he's really been the backbone of this defense and making double-digit saves in a lot of games so far.
Jack's been a 3-time CAA Player of the Week. On the other side, it's Charlie Kitchen, the freshman. He's had at least 2 points in every game this year. He's at an unreal pace right now for a young player under Bob Schilling.
He is 23 goals and 13 assists for 36 points on the year so far this year. That's a big year so far for him, especially with the talent that they play against. He's got some good guys around him, but he's a big physical attackman that likes to dodge to get in your hands and get his shot off that way.
And we're set to go with the X here at Delaware Stadium. Raymond Field, clustered with white jerseys and blue jerseys for today's CAA Game of the Week. Hofstra coming in after a victory in Fairfield, Connecticut against Fairfield, 10-6. And Delaware off a loss at UMass Amherst, losing 9-6. And the first face-off is controlled by the Blue Hens. We're underway. Thanks for joining us for the CAA Game of the Week. One of 3 games going on today. After this, we have Drexel taking on Fairfield in Philadelphia. So we have a busy day of lacrosse. Hofstra, of course, is undefeated, one of 2 teams in the country, along with Big Ten foe Penn State. And then Delaware just 2 weeks back, beating Rutgers, a signature victory. Can they validate that win today, though, here at home?
2 weeks ago, and that win for those guys, for Delaware, everything went right for those guys. And everything went right for those guys in that win, 2 weeks ago. Last week, they didn't win face-offs at the beginning. That put them behind the 8 ball. They win the first face-off of the game. It's a good possession so far for Delaware. We'll see if they can get anything out of it.
Ortlieb got his own miss, and misfired a stop for Jack Concannon already. And here comes Hofstra in transition. It's Luke Gomez, the midi from Ambler, Pennsylvania. Gets it out to Jimmy Annis, and we'll take a look now at the keys to the game.
For Hofstra, start fast and wear down Delaware. They're going to wear them down possession by possession, and then for Delaware, make it a battle at the face-off X. Tough for them last week at UMass in a 9-6 loss. They were still in that game, and they only won 3 of 18 face-offs. So they got to feel like if they can give a little bit better battle at the face-off X, that they can really give this Hofstra team a tough time.
Yeah, the Minutemen's Noah Rack, 15 face-off wins. He was outstanding UMass got the victory 9-6 over Delaware. Here's Josh Byrne, and he fires and scores the game's first goal. One of 4 lefties in this Hofstra offense.
And that always creates a problem for a defense not used to playing against that lefties. This looks like a set play here. You know, they get the ball in Alex Mosier's stick, and they pop Byrne off the backside to get his left hand free for his strong hand, and he's able to beat DeLuca with the high-to-high shot. Good start for Hofstra. Nice set play by those guys. They find the open guy, they give it to Byrne, and Byrne puts it in the goal.
Mosier found him. Just a nifty flip to the far side.
And I think the key to that goal is if you're watching at home and you're seeing how Josh Byrne shoots that, he gets the ball out of his stick very quickly so the goalie can't locate it.
It's goal number 26 for Josh Byrne. Entered the game today, tied for 12th in the country. With that tally of 25 goals, now 46 points on the season. It's a very windy, gusty afternoon here in Newark, Delaware. You can see the cage by Concannon. He's stretching out with Earl McNolly pressuring. And now he reverts to the end line, looking for an angle. Here's Hirschman.
And in Delaware's first possession, they got a pretty good shot. He was able to follow it up, but Hofstra did a great job picking the ball up, and they're extremely good at clearing the ball. Hofstra's 7th in the country at clearing the ball, so if the ball's on the ground, they're going to get it up, and they're going to get it to their offense.
Hofstra 18 of 19 in clears last week against Fairfield. That's Charlie Kitchen, the freshman. He winds up. Backed up, though, by his teammate after misfiring wide. Kitchen off the dish. Dash down the middle looking for a lane. Still Hofstra possession.
And in Delaware's first 2 possessions here, they're getting the ball around, but they're not holding the ball. They're taking their opportunities when they get them. They're hoping maybe to get that Kitchen shot on cage, but everything else so far on the Delaware offense is they're doing good, making good moves, getting the ball to the right people.
Bad Delaware turnover.
I just don't think that was a shot there. You know, that's not the shot they were looking at. The previous shots they've got in their offense have been good, calculated shots. That's kind of a fadeaway shot by Romanelli to try and just, you know, get something off there. And then Hofstra picks it up, and obviously the way they've cleared so far, they're going to continue to clear that way and get the ball into their offense's hands.
Mosier gets it off to Jimmy Yanis, the sophomore, who has scored a goal in 4 straight games for the Pride. We touched on it a moment ago, that set play that got Hofstra on the board first. It's that combination of left-handed players, left-handed attackers. Mosier, another one, the junior, puts it in the upper right 90, and Hofstra leads 2-0.
And that was a really good job by Hofstra and their offense of, you know, making it look like they were going to go to the same exact play that they just had earlier for Byrne's goal, but instead of him driving for his right-hand Mosier and going across the defense, he comes down the side and he's able to get a left-handed shot off when nobody slides and scores the goal here. So great job by showing 2 different looks on 2 different possessions and getting 2 goals out of it. Mosier with a goal and an assist. He's obviously the one that's going to control the ball from the midfield for these guys.
Mosier's 13th of the 2017 season. He's having a career year. Last year had no goals in 10 games played for the number 3 Hofstra Pride.
And I think that's one of the reasons that there's a big difference this year from last year. Is you see everybody, you know, contributing. Everybody's being part of the win. Everybody's helping Hofstra get to that 9-0 record right now.
Mosier of Greenwich, Connecticut, redshirt junior. So it's Byrne and Mosier who strike first on the Pride side. So a slow start for Delaware, a quick start for Hofstra.
And surprisingly, Delaware's 3-0 in the faceoffs right now, and they have nothing to show for it on the offense end. So that's got to make Hofstra feel really good that they're up 2-0 and they haven't won a faceoff yet.
DeLarge dumps it to Eisel. This attack for Delaware should be fun to watch today. One of the top 3 attack units in the country behind Duke and Albany. The trio of Romagnoli, Kitchen, and Eisel with 71 goals this year.
Yep, and they have a little bit, something over to the other attacks in the country. Eisel and Kitchen actually played together in high school, so they brought some of that connection up with them from St. Augustine Prep, where they played together for a little while.
Off the catch. Delaware goes back out. Ortley makes a move. Defensively, we'll see Osman, Griffin, and Diener, the starters today for Hofstra. Steve DeLargy, a grad student, number 30 in white.
And this is the matchup here we have for Delaware at X. Romanelli has a short stick on him here. This is a great opportunity for him to dodge. They get a good look, but again, Kavanagh there to stop the ball. He's done all year.
Ortley falls down, another ground ball pickup for Delaware. And scooped up behind the end line by Hofstra. Jack Concannon with the ground ball. Luke Gomez, and Hofstra crosses the line with Tanner Griffin possessing. He had a goal and 2 ground balls. The defenseman had a great game last week in the CAA opener for the Pride. So a couple of turnovers for Delaware, and Hofstra, like you mentioned, has dropped the 3 faceoffs in this first quarter. They've taken advantage. Goals by Byrne and Mosier. Here's Mosier again at the top of the box. Burns dish, he tries the one bouncing shot. Snared by DeLuca. Here comes Delaware, full throttle in transition. Nice cut middle, but the pass over the right to Eisel gets away. Another Blue Hens turnover.
Yeah, another turnover. Delaware's, they have to play fast like they just did. They just have to be able to make that pass. That pass was there. If they get the ball to Eisel there, he's probably got about a 5 or 6 yard shot, which is going to probably be exactly what he needs in his wheelhouse. But again, just an unforced turnover, throwing the ball away, giving Hofstra possessions, and you can't give Hofstra possessions. I would think originally on the last Hofstra possession, you saw Byrne take a shot. I think the defenseman did a great job of getting in his hands to affect that shot. But what you're going to see is a lot of picks, and Hofstra's going to set a lot of picks for Byrne. Being a Canadian player, he's used to playing in small spaces. He's used to shooting on the 4x4 goal. So they're going to try and get his hands free every time they can so he can shoot.
Yeah, the elements of box lacrosse, a big component to what Hofstra does offensively, averaging just over 11.5 goals per game. Byrne has been a huge reason as to why they can make things happen that way offensively. A huge tool for Seth Tierney, the head coach. Mosier's fine to Byrne, a stop by DeLuca. Ground ball plucked away by Delaware.
It was an important save by DeLuca there. Just to get Delaware some fire in them. They stopped them now finally. They're getting the ball down. Now they need a really good offensive possession. Even if they don't get a goal out of it, they can't turn the ball over by a bad shot or a bad pass. They got to have a good possession here.
More than midway through this first quarter. Raymond Field, as you can see, those bright yellow and blue letters here at Delaware Stadium. Kitchen fighting for space. Hits Hirschman. Hirschman winds up. Wide of the net, Concannon. But it was backed up by Delaware. Well, the Blue Hens losing to UMass on the road. The next 2 games so crucial. Hofstra and Towson back-to-back here at home. The Towson game is next Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Here's the first goal of the game. It's DeLargy to put Delaware on the board first. On their side, it's now a 2-1 ball game.
Good possession by Delaware. Got the ball around a few times, let everybody touch it. Found the right guys. And they were able, in the transition of moving, of getting DeLargy in a good spot where he was about 10 yards away from the goal, and he's able to finish finish that ball. I think Hofstra's defense got caught watching the ball behind the goal a little bit there, and that gave the opportunity here for Delaware to step up and beat Concannon high to high. And it looks like he might have been even screened a little bit there, by Tanner Griffin coming at the shooter, screening Concannon.
A down-your-throat type of shot by DeLargy, his 13th of the season. The only Delaware player to make the preseason All-CAA team. That was also his 62nd career goal. He is a graduate student, currently studying in the International Relations MBA program. That's where Will Hirschman will be at next year. Hirschman is a redshirt senior who plays on that midfield, a very experienced midfield for Bob Schillinglaw, a unit that he sort of calls the glue of that team.
Yes, 3 seniors, on that unit. It's, guys with a lot of experience, and not having a lot of experience at the attack, they need that, and they need those guys to be the leaders.
Let's see how Hofstra responds. Byrne flinging away, finds a cutter middle. And Ryan Tierney with his 20th of his freshman season. Hofstra back up 2.
Hofstra goal number 43,
by
Ryan
Byrne.
Tierney.
Yeah, this is a product of Hofstra's offense again. They're moving the ball, they're finding the open guy, but what happens is Ryan Tierney does a great job of moving without the ball in his stick and finding a spot, and they come through the dodge, they find him open here. Dylan Alderman ends up finding him on the crease on the backside, and Tierney catches it and finishes it. And notice where his stick is. His stick is next to his ear the whole time. He doesn't drop his stick. He catches, puts it in the goal, and DeLuca doesn't even have an opportunity for that.
And Tierney just galloped right into that pass, cutting from the weak side. And that assist, as Bugs mentioned, there was Dylan Alderman, the junior from Downington, Pennsylvania. Hofstra with its first face-off win. Yanis fires and he scores. A flag was thrown just before his rocketing release. For now, though, it will be a goal for the Hofstra Pride. Now 4-1.
Yeah, we see, they made a change at the face-off X. Hofstra did. They have Gallagher in there now. He's taken the last 2. He's won them. Gets a fast break, and I believe what we're going to have here is a 1-minute slash on Delaware. So what this should lead us to is a man-up opportunity face-off for Hofstra.
And a timeout for the 39th year head coach of the Delaware Blue Hens, Bob Schillinglaw. As both teams head to their respective sidelines.
Delaware penalty assessed to number 1, Jacob
Bob Schillinglaw, this could be, well, it is his final season as the head coach. So they did a pregame ceremony today for the 14 seniors for Delaware, also honoring Bob for his time, of course, in the game of college lacrosse. 4 CAA regular season and tournament titles, 6 NCAA tournament appearances, over 300 career wins. He's got 334 in his career total, over 300 with Delaware. Just an outstanding career, and obviously well-deserved today to get the honor.
Yeah, Coach Schillinglaw is one of the great coaches out there. I've had the fortunate knowledge of knowing him for a long time because of my dad being a football coach and coming up and watching his teams. Delaware teams have always played hard. They've always been extremely well coached, and he's done a great job. And I think probably one of the ultimate things for him was probably that experience when they went to the Final Four that year, and that was a big thing for Delaware. And Delaware lacrosse, and they were led by a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that have put a lot into this program. They had guys like John Grant Jr. playing this program, John Silberto, Alex Smith. There's guys all up and down the area that have just been very successful players here. And Coach Schillinglaw, they all have great things to say about Coach Schillinglaw. They loved playing for him. And he's a staple here. So, hopefully they'll put a bust of him down there with all the rest of those football coaches because he sure deserves one.
Seth Tierney, the head coach of the Hofstra Pride, joined us this week on Lacrosse Sports Network, and he said, speaking on Bob Schillinglaw, he said he puts the game first. He puts bettering the game, getting younger coaches such as Seth acclimated to what to expect and to make them better coaches. But some of the phrases he used: paves the road, opens doors for younger coaches. So Seth Tierney already on record this week, very appreciative and thankful for what Bob has done for the game. Off the ground ball, Delaware controls the face-off after 2 wins by Gallagher. Bugs just pointed out Kyle Gallagher, who was 6 for 17 at the X against Fairfield. Concannon picks it up, but there was a late flag coming in. Looks like it will be against, was it against Hofstra's defense? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're going to call a 30-second hold on Hofstra's defense here. So what that will give us, it will give us a 5-on-5. I'm not sure how much was in the first penalty, so it looks like there's 37 seconds in Delaware's penalty. This is a 30-second penalty. So at the end of this, you know, they will still be up for 7 seconds at the end of their penalty. So 5-on-5 right now until both penalties release.
Your math skills are admirable. I love it.
I was not great at math in school. My mom and father will attest to that.
Well, not only you have to tell do math, but you have to be able to tell time too. So, so 4-1 Hofstra. Yanis the last goal for the Pride.
And in this 5-on-5 opportunity, this is a great opportunity to dodge from an offensive standpoint because, you know, you've taken one defenseman out of it. They're used to 6 guys in the slide package. Now there's only 5, and it just changes everything.
DeLargy finds a man middle. Another goal for Delaware's second of the game. It's Eisel's first today, his 20th of the season.
So again, on that 5-on-5, there's just more space to dodge. There's more room. It's longer slides for the defense. And great job, DeLargy finding inside. You know, and Eisel just handles the ball, and he's able to get any type of shot off inside, and is so quick that can't really react or find it because his body's turning as well.
Eisel, a former high school star, an all-New Jersey first-teamer his senior year of high school. And like Bugs had mentioned, he played at the same high school as Charlie Kitchen, St. Augustine Prep. Off the initial clamp, grabbed by Hofstra.
And they're going to have about 10 seconds of man up here.
Down to 5 seconds.
And Coach Tierney takes that time out there because he wants to preserve the man-up opportunity. He wants to call timeout so that he has his 5 seconds for his man up there. It's a great time out there so he doesn't have to change people.
Just a tick over 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Hofstra doubling the Delaware Blue Hens. Don't forget, for all the day's lacrosse news and highlights, be sure to check out Lacrosse Now. From up-to-the-minute breaking news to interviews with the sport's top players and coaches, Lacrosse Now is the go-to destination for Lax fans. Catch it daily, 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Lax Sports Network. As you can see from behind, men's lacrosse 24 conference championships. We mentioned the 6 NCAA appearances. It was a busy day. It's been a busy day here on the campus of the University of Delaware. We had football kicking off spring practice over to our left. Behind the stands, in front of the screen, there's a volleyball playoff tournament going on. There's field hockey tournament playoffs going on. And then we've got lacrosse. We've got a busy day here in Newark today. So off the Tierney timeout, it is Hofstra ball.
Coach Tierney was trying to get 2 more seconds added to that man up. He thought he had 7 seconds when he called a timeout. He's always trying to get a couple extra.
Seth Tierney, year number 11. He has 96 wins with Hofstra. He's got 9 of them this year. Hofstra is still undefeated. A couple of signature wins early in the season over Princeton, North Carolina, most notably. See how Hofstra sets things up offensively. The 2 quarterbacks, Kavanagh and Alderman, make so many things work on that pick and roll movement, that box lacrosse style that having Josh Byrne, a Canadian player, helps space everything out, makes it all flow. Bozier, little stop and start action. It's Yanis underneath. Yanis, a quick shot, it's good. Second today for Yanis. Hofstra once more leads by 3 goals.
Hofstra has 6 very deadly weapons on the field at all times. And what Delaware's trying to do is it seems like they've tried to bump up and have a long pole cover another midfielder. So they have 2 long poles on the midfields, which leaves Giannis with the short stick, and Giannis exploits that. And that's what you need if they're going to have everybody else covered. Giannis takes his opportunity, he beats his man, and finishes the goal once he gets him hung up in front of the goal.
That's his 4th multi-goal game of the season. He's got a goal in 5 straight games for Hofstra. Nice sophomore campaign for Jimmy Yanis, who last year missed all of last season with an ACL tear. Great to see he's back in there. He's from the San Francisco area in California, Junipero Serra High School in San Juan. Delaware possession, down 3 goals. Each time the Blue Hens have scored, Hofstra has not lost any sight of coming right back down and putting that goal back.
They have it, and that's why they're 9-0, number 3 in the country, is because they're able to do those things. They want to cut the other team's runs, let them score 1 goal, but we're going to come back and score maybe 2 or 3 goals to that 1 run. And Delaware wants to continue to be patient on offense. They don't want to force anything. They don't want to continue to give breaks to Hofstra if they're going to turn the ball over. So you're going to see good patient offense finding the right shot here.
This is Kitchen surveying. The very talented freshman from Marlton, New Jersey. That's southeast New Jersey. Delargy has already scored today. Delargy flings it. He got it back from Kitchen. And a whistle coming from the far sideline right when Eisel had it. So it will stay Delaware possession here. Not sure what that was about. Off the pass, Delargy lost it, turned over. Hofstra weaves back in transition. Michael Diener, with the ground ball for the Pride.
And that's the type of turnover from Delaware's standpoint that's going to kill you. You have your graduate student in there, drops the ball, goes the other way. You're having a good possession. You can't have those things if you're going to beat the number 3 team in the country.
Coming up on 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Brendan Kavanagh cradling at the moment for Hofstra. Kavanagh Jr. from Rockville Center, New York. Kavanagh matched up with Alex Bruner, a junior from Syracuse, the short stick midi. And that's what they like to do. It's either Kavanagh or Alderman draws that short stick midi, and that opens everything up for Hofstra.
Yep, those 2 guys are the initiators of the offense. They initiate a lot of things that make them successful.
The man now is Kavanagh. Dumps it to Tierney, gets it back. Kavanagh was just on the near sideline. He's back on the other side. His head coach down to one knee. Seth Tierney watching. Kavanagh floats it to Tierney. Hofstra still showing patience. Pass bobbled by Mosier. Some assistance from Yanis. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Burn a one-hop pass to Tierney. The man cutting. Alderman. The horn just blew. I'm not sure if a shot clock went on for Hofstra. I didn't see one go on. Just a turnover, and there's 10 seconds to go for Delaware. Eisel's pass gets away from Ro McNolly with 1.5 on the clock. That's likely how the first quarter will close, with Hofstra on top 5-2. 15 minutes of action in the books at Raymond Field inside Delaware Stadium. CAA game of the week, 1 quarter in the books. The number 3 Pride 5, the Blue Hens 2. We'll be back for second quarter action. This is the CAA game of the week on LAC Sports Network. We'll be back.
Family fun activities, including pre-familiarized, inflatable interactives for all ages, live music, food sampling, giveaways, and more.
Hey, so you hear me? Hey, so this is similar. I'm just making sure that I got this Sure, yeah. I just figured you were going to go with the first one, so. Okay. Let's see. Both teams took 7 shots. All of Hofstra's shots were on goal. Jesus.
Thank you.
Oh, stats? Oh, perfect.
You'll take face-off in the second quarter. Will be between
Thank you, Scott.
Hofstra's number 29, Kyle Gallagher, and University of Delaware's number 50, Crosby Matthews.
Sniffles. And welcome back to Raymond Field at Delaware Stadium in Newark, Delaware. After this matchup, don't go anywhere. We have more CAA lacrosse for you live on LSN. 4 p.m. Eastern, we head to Philadelphia for a matchup between Fairfield and Drexel. And in between games, stay here for all the highlights from today's action on Lacrosse Central. Bugs Combs alongside Brendan Glasheen. Thanks for joining us. Game 1 of a triple header today. We have a busy day ahead of us. Thankfully, we've got just one game to worry about. And for right now, it looks like Hofstra is going to keep us busy and entertained because they've got 5 goals. They took 7 shots, and all 7 of them were on goal in that first quarter.
Yeah, that's pretty efficient. If you can shoot like that, the shooting percentage, and their shots have been in good places, I thought, as well. They've made DeLuca make good saves when they haven't scored as well.
Delaware also took 7 shots, but just 2 of those shots were on goal.
And I think one of the differences between that first quarter between the two teams was Hofstra looked very comfortable out there, whether it was on offense or on defense. And Delaware just looked a little discombobulated. They looked a little nervous a couple times. So maybe Delaware will settle in here. But Hofstra just looks like a really good team. And they look like they have a lot of weapons. And it's hard to stop an offense when you have 6 weapons on the field.
This is Hofstra's 5th road game of the year, of course undefeated. They have a home and road record that are undefeated, 4-0 on the road, and we've mentioned the wins over Princeton and North Carolina, both of those wins on the road. The pick set for Tierney, practically knocks over his own man, Kavanagh. He's back to his feet, down on the doorstep. Yanez surveys. Now Byrne can make something happen, gets double teamed. Kavanagh cradles. A 2-man game of he and Alderman. So difficult to slow down. Mosier gets rid of it. Some physicality getting shown now. The ground ball, it's smothered by Alex Bruner, the short stick midi. He's dashing up the sideline. It's Delaware possession. Bruner's a physical presence for Delaware defensively, and short stick can be pulverizing at times.
He can, and he's also done a great job in the transition game for those guys this year, really getting the ball up the field, creating some breaks. You see right here, they leave him on offense because they're comfortable with him. They feel like he can be successful against an offensive midi from the other team, maybe catching a matchup like that, like they have here. So they're trying to exploit it and see what they do here. Delaware, again, being patient on offense, being smart. They don't want to give this Hofstra offense the ball. They want to keep it out of their stick because of how successful they were so far in the first quarter.
Bruner running off the screen now to your right. 2 goals total on the season, but he did have a goal against UMass. That was the CAA opener for Delaware. A loss 9-6 to the Minutemen. Hofstra trying to go to 2-0 in the league after the victory over Fairfield. Hirschman with a nice shake and bake move. He tries to go upstairs, but Concannon says no chance. A stop for the 3-time CAA Player of the Week, Jack Concannon. Second in the country in save percentage at 63%. Meanwhile, Delaware gets it right back.
Yeah, it was a good job by Byrne trying to just finding the backside. Giannis did a good job cutting to the backside pipe. He was open for a second. Byrne usually gets that ball right to his stick for a goal. So Coach Tierney's going to take that. You got to live and die with some of the things that your guys are going to do. And I think with Byrne's ball on his stick, he's going to handle that.
Hofstra now has 4 turnovers in this game. Early it was Delaware with the concerns of not valuing the ball, and Hofstra's been a really good team in terms of efficiency, averaging just a little over 10 turnovers a game. That's number 1 in the country. And defensively, they've been good. 7.78 goals allowed per game. That's 7th in the nation.
Yeah, really a complete team from top to bottom, from their goal to their attack. There aren't any holes in this team.
And there's experience as well. And of course, we've mentioned Josh Byrne multiple times, the Nassau Community College transfer. He has fit in seamlessly for this Pride program. Flag comes out inside the 10-yard line on the far side with about 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's another look at Concannon's stop.
Again, just stays high, holds his pipe, keeps his stick high. The shot comes, he's able to bounce it off, and then they're able. Unfortunately, Hofstra's not able to pick it up. Delaware does a good job picking up and creating a foul.
Man up for 1 minute.
It's a 1-minute penalty against Hofstra. So Delaware with a golden opportunity this year on the man up. Delaware just 37%, 11 for 30.
And Hofstra, again, 11 in the country and man down. They're wherever you look in their special teams, their regular teams, they're successful.
Eisel misfires. Talking with Bob Schillinglaw this week, Joe Eisel, a sophomore who wears number 22, he has a lot of chances to get open because the young attackman next to him, Ron McNolly, as well as Kitchen, make space for him.
Great save
Concannon
by
smothers it.
Great save.
Oh, we told you, he has been a rock all year long in the open, living up to the bill so far here. Hofstra in transition.
Your man down can be 11th in the country if you can give up shots like that and know your goal is going to save him. I think that helps the defense. They feel like they can give that shot up because they know they have him behind them.
Scuffle by midfield. Delaware moving along here. Hirschman hits Ron McNolly, and he lasers one wide. Ron McNolly scoreless today. He's got 29 goals. Here's another look at Concannon. Just excellent on that one bounce in the dirt.
And as a shooter, Eisel did everything correct there. He shot the ball high to low, but Concannon just did a great job stepping to the ball, getting his stick low, and picking the ball up out of the ground.
Paul Major has checked in for Delaware. He has 2 goals on the season, a senior from Royersford, Pennsylvania. He was hurt earlier in the season, so his playing time has increased.
And Paul Major played a lot of attack last year, but was hurt early in the season, just like you had said, Brendan, and came back, and the attack was playing so well. Kitchen had played so well that they moved Major to midfield. He's had some success there, and just felt like that was the best move because you want to get your best 6 players on the field if you can.
DeLargy just misfired. DeLargy on a little pick and pop with Charlie Kitchen. DeLargy, the outlet man. Don Edson with some, check that was Puckhaber for Hofstra with some defensive pressure on DeLargy at the top of the box. Still Delaware possession. Well, McNolly gets it out to DeLargy. This shot. Major off the mark. Major had just 1 shot against UMass last week. He's been a part of 2 shot opportunities in this possession. Hirschman receives a screen. Delaware still trying to find its mojo here offensively, has yet to score. Neither team has yet to score in this second quarter. We're 7 minutes into the second frame. The man cutting DeLargy, mishandled it. Stolen away by Hofstra. Tanner Griffin with the stop.
Just solid defense from Hofstra. Not over-sliding, not over-committing, finding the right guy and playing good defense.
Mosier slows things down for Hofstra. Well, the Pride have 4 lefties on its offense. Josh Byrne, you've spoke about plenty today. Tierney, the son of Seth Tierney, Ryan Tierney, just a freshman. Alderman and Kavanagh, the 2 quarterbacks of this offense. And they just, again, they have that ability with the left-handed shot to really toy with defenses. That's what's made them so fun to watch. And like you said, they're a complete team. Offensively, though, when you look at their unit, they are very diverse.
They are, and they have the 6 weapons on the field at any time, so they're going to take what they can give you. But having those lefties, the key is they can really play that 2-man game with Byrne because they have all those lefties. And that's what makes it significant and very difficult for a defense to cover. You have to talk through the pick. You have to work extremely hard as a defense when teams set those picks.
Great move by Kavanagh. Streaking left. Yanis, twist around shot, gets denied by DeLuca. And the ground ball, it is Delaware who grabs it. Bruner, the transition man. Delaware wants to move quickly. When things slow down, the offense can get a little stagnant with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Again, don't forget, coming up after this game, we have Fairfield and Drexel. We'll get a preview of that game, I'm sure, at the half. We'll have halftime breakdown of this game back in our LSN broadcast center. DeLargy leaves it. Some skip passing by Delaware the last few possessions. Back out to the top here. And that shot is wide from Hirschman, the redshirt senior. Backed up by Romagnoli.
And back to what you had said before about Delaware trying to go a little bit earlier in the possession, trying to catch Hofstra off guard. I think that's a good plan for them. They're having trouble beating Hofstra 6-on-6 defensively, so maybe on the transition, that's a way for them to have some success.
DeLargy's got a quick trigger. He fires again. Concannon right at the letters. Caught the fastball. And it's Hofstra possession again.
And that's not the shot Delaware wants. You're not going to score stick side high from 15 to 12 yards on Jack Concannon. You got to move him. You got to get a movement across the crease to be successful against him. He's a very talented goalie, and when you have goalies like that have good size and good hands, you have to get them moving.
DeLargy with the shot attempt again. He had 5 shot attempts in the UMass game last week.
Both defenses really settling in the second quarter. You know, they've done a good job. The goalies are making saves when they need to. You know, look for Hofstra to really get that next goal. They're really important to take it 6-2 here if they can.
Yeah, it feels like the foot has come off the gas pedal a little bit. Still, not a single goal scored in this second quarter. Mosier's got a goal today. Byrne has one as well. Maybe Alderman gets in on the end. Byrne shoves off his defender. The pass was sealed off. Now Byrne's got it behind the cage. Some pretty movement by Kavanagh, but a whistle blows, and I think it's a Seth Tierney timeout. He will take one, his second taken today.
Timeout.
Both teams have some things to figure out here.
Yeah, and I think that situation, I think that Seth Tierney was just kind of seeing the play develop, and he was seeing that he felt like his guy was going to lose the ball there. He wanted to keep his
So the 15th is next Saturday. We'll have UMass and Fairfield. Hey, we talked about Hofstra. At one point, we were doing Hofstra Stony Brook a couple weeks ago. They were one of 5 unbeaten teams in the country. Now it's down to 2. Penn State is currently in action with Maryland, and the Terps doubling the Nittany Lions. 8-4 in the second quarter. Just a little bit more time left than we have in this first half. But I don't know, right now, if Hofstra can get to what you're saying, maybe get it 6-2, get to the half, we might only have 1 unbeaten team left in Division I.
We might at the end of this day. We might, and I'm not sure if I ever want the #1 ranking this year, though, because every time it gets the #1 ranking, you end up losing, it looks like. I think all the coaches are going to vote for other teams next week.
Yeah, Syracuse had a win over Hobart this past Tuesday, and the Orange at #2 in the country. And then, of course, Hofstra right behind. So the Nittany Lions being doubled up by Maryland. That's a game going in. It felt like, Maryland should be favored. We'll keep our eyes on that one as this one unfolds here in Newark, Delaware. It is Hofstra ball. Kavanagh has a 15-game point streak. He's yet to score a point today. Ball falls loose in front of the cage, and it's picked up by Brian Pickup. He's got a great name for a defenseman, Brian Pickup, one of the captains for Delaware. He's got 11 caused turnovers on the season, redshirt senior. Delaware's got a chance to make this a 2-goal game. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Kitchen gets shut down. Ball loose, and Hofstra off to the races now. Campbell Parker just got stopped on the Delaware side.
And down the other end here, Jack Concannon is slow to get up in the goal for Hofstra, so we want to watch that. It seems like the offensive player, when he got inside of him, Parker Campbell there, took his knee out a little bit, and he's been walking around. He's a little bit ginger on that, so we want to watch that. That's really important right now.
Junior defenseman Brent Osman was just helping out Jack, making sure he was all right. Sharing words. Hofstra can slow things down, maybe get the final possession of this first half. No scoring in this second quarter. The 7 goals total between the two teams are all scored in the first. The two table setters, Kavanagh and Alderman up top. Alderman's got a path, his shot wide left, backed up by Yanis. And 90 seconds left in the half.
And that shot's a good shot, because what that could really do is keep from having the shot clock put on at some point in this possession if they wanted to. But it looks like Giannis had his opportunity and he went to the goal. Big save by DeLuca, but great ride by Ryan Tierney and Byrne to get the ball back.
Tierney doing the little things that most freshmen would not do, and certainly having Dad as the coach.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter.
Adds some extra flair to his game.
And as a young man growing up, he was around lacrosse, whether it was at Hopkins or at Hofstra, and he knows the right way to play and what's expected of him. And talking to his dad this week, his dad said he's done a really good job of making his job as the head coach a lot easier by doing the right things and playing hard and doing the right things on and off the field.
Tierney was recruited by, of course, his father and Bill Tierney at the University of Denver. 53 goals in high school. Massapequa, his hometown. Kavanagh had his lane shut down. 20 seconds left in the half. Hofstra going for its 7th straight win over Delaware. The last time the Blue Hens beat Hofstra was the CAA semis in 2011. There's a goal for Byrne at the top of the box. And there's your 6th goal, Bugs. It's now 6-2 Hofstra.
And that's a play by Giannis, a freshman. He has 2 goals on the day. Now he comes back with a great assist to Byrne and puts the ball right in Byrne's stick. Byrne's doing a great job moving off the ball, moving up the field to increase his angle. Giannis finds him with a little bit of no-look pass, and Byrne sets his feet, shoots the ball to the offside of DeLuca to get in there. It's a great job of where he shot the ball. He gets it to DeLuca's offside. He can't get there, and a good job by Hofstra in that possession with 6 seconds left to go in the half to score their 6th goal of the game.
And the body language of Brian Pickup sort of says it all for Delaware. A look like, what, are you kidding me type of goal. And reading up on some articles this week from Inside Lacrosse and also from Joe Keegs at collegecross.com. You're due for 2 or 3 of those from Josh Bird. He does those whoa type of plays. 30 minutes in the books here at Raymond Field at Delaware Stadium. Hofstra leads 6-2 on the Delaware Blueheads.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field, MOT Youth Lacrosse teams play scrimmage
You
during
can't get
today's
better than that. Scoring a
halftime
goal with 6
highlight.
seconds left after the coach calls a timeout. You're ready to go there. You come back in and you execute what he just put up on the board to make it a 6-2 game.
We'll be joined momentarily by Seth Tierney, the head coach of the number 3 Hofstra Pride, 9-0 on the season. That is the best record through 9 games in program history. One thing we'll look out for in the second half, Hofstra's had leads going to the 4th quarter. They take care of business, keep that foot on the gas pedal before going to their first CAA home game against Drexel next Saturday night. (6-2) lead for Hofstra over Delaware. And I think we have standing by now is head coach Seth Tierney. Hey coach, thanks for joining us here. 6-2 lead for your guys. What did you see out there that made you pleased in that first half?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we could have played a little bit cleaner. I don't like the goals that we gave up. The first one was just a miscommunication, and the second one, we got to be out there. We know what's going on, and we couldn't get to the hands. We got to make sure we do a better job of that. Offensively, we got to make sure that we don't have empty possessions, meaning we just want to make sure we get a good shot on the goal every time down the floor. Empty possessions are not good.
Coach, just what you talked about, your possessions, I thought in the first half you guys had some really good possessions. You guys have 6 weapons on the field at all time on offense. But one of the guys that's not necessarily talked about but was involved in the last 3 goals was Jimmy Yanis. Talk about a little bit what he's doing today.
Yeah, Bugs, Jimmy Yanis is a guy, he's basically a freshman out there. He didn't play for us last year. He tore his knee before he came to school as a freshman. He sat out last year, and he's just trying to feel his oats a little bit. He came around. They put a short stick on him. They're 2-pulling our first midfield, so we would dodge him with Mosier a little bit. And then Yanis has got some freedom back there because he's got the other short stick. So he came around, stuck one lefty, and then put the ball on some people's sticks towards the end there.
Coach, we'll get you out on this. Jack Concannon was limping a little bit, putting some pressure on the knee. Is everything okay with him? Should we see him in the second half?
That's the first time hearing about it, and Jack can't get hurt, so hopefully he's fine.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Hofstra Pride on top 6-2. The Delaware Blueheads, the host of this CAA game. 2 big games in a row here for Delaware. 2 of them at home with Towson up next on Saturday night of next week. And then Hofstra gets back home after 2 CAA road games after today. There's Seth Tierney leaving the field now. So once again, 1 half of lacrosse in the books. Hofstra on top, 6-2. We'll now send it back to the LSN Broadcast Center for halftime coverage. And we'll be back to Delaware Stadium. You can come back with it. And welcome back to Delaware Stadium. We're going to have Bob Schillinglaw, the head coach of Delaware, join us momentarily. Bugs, take it away here.
Coach, how you doing? Bugs Combs here. Quick question for you for the second half. What was one thing that you guys think you need to improve on from the first half to the second half?
I think we got to shoot better. I mean, I think we're creating some opportunities. We're winning some face-offs. I think we're doing a good job of clearing the ball. So possession-wise, we're getting some opportunities. But when we create our offense, we got to make sure we shoot much better than what we've been shooting.
And Coach, quickly, top priority in the second half. What'd you tell your guys?
Well, the big thing is that when we do have possession of the ball, run our offense more cleanly, more efficiently, and again, you know, we got to end up shooting the ball better. I think we're doing a nice job. You know, defensively, they've got some really quality shooters, and they've taken advantage of that. But we got to take advantage of the offensive opportunities when we have them.
Thanks so much. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Bob Schillinglaw, the 39th year head coach at Hofstra. It's his 42nd year overall coaching in NCAA Division I lacrosse. 310 career wins at Delaware, 334 wins overall. A very exceptional resume for the head coach. His team down 4. I think you hit it there right on the head. I mean, they've got to possess the ball a lot more cleanly in this second half.
Yeah, I think of that, and I think exactly what he said about shooting the ball. They got to do a much better at shooting the ball, getting the ball on cage, and shooting the better spots and making it hard for Kavanagh to save the ball. So far, a lot of their shots have been easy saves for him, especially stick side high.
Delaware took 6 of 10 face-offs in the first half. Each team won a face-off in the second half. And Delaware controls. Crosby Matthews with the face-off victory. He had a 54% clip this year. Matthews was 3 for 11 against UMass last week. So here's Delaware's offense. Ulbrich just got rid of it. Now he has it back. Thanks for joining us again. CAA Game of the Week triple header. After this, we have Drexel and Fairfield in Philadelphia. Make sure you stay right here on Lacrosse Sports Network. We'll have a quick segue from this game to the next one. And again, the way these two teams have tangled in years past, we could bleed over into that next game. Who knows? Delaware has lost 6 straight to Hofstra, but their last victory came at a time where it felt like there was no chance they'd beat them, the CAA semis back in 2011.
It's definitely been a while, and you know that's got to be playing on the players' minds a little bit. You know, I see one move that Delaware's made here in the second half is they move Parker Campbell down to attack, so have him playing the left-handed attack. We'll see if they bring Joe Eisel out of the box, maybe as a midfield to play him out of there for a matchup. But it looks like that, you know, Delaware's really just trying to make some things happen and figure out what the best matchup they can exploit is on Hofstra's defense, because Hofstra's defense is really good.
Campbell is a sophomore from Georgetown, Ontario. Does have 1 goal and 2 assists this season. Romagnoli finds an open man. The shot denied. Concannon getting down to one knee to stop that spearing shot.
And one of the things I've known with Jack Concannon is the way he saves the ball. Although he's a tall player and 6'2", 170 pounds, he does a great job getting down to the low shots and bending his knees and getting his stick down there. So you think sometimes on a taller goalie, you want to shoot low, but he's done a great job getting down to it.
Ortlieb had the shot. He's a transfer from Providence. A senior that Coach Schillinglaw says he has to get involved for them to be successful offensively. Hirschman picks it up. This possession lasting a little over 2 minutes. Here's another shot. Ortlieb missing wide left. Well, Delaware has been fortunate here, keeping possession on a couple of backups. Hirschman has it back, faced up. Brendan Lynch in his eyes. Now Romagnoli behind the shoulder shot. Concannon leaves the cage. The trickery doesn't work that time.
Tough shot on a good possession, you know, a little over a 2-minute possession, and that's the shot you get off. I'm sure Coach Schillinglaw wants a better shot. Some of the shots that they did get off in that possession were better, but that's what he's talking about. That's a wasted shot there. You throw it over your back, and now we'll see, you know, Hofstra's been able to clear the ball all year, so we'll see if they're able to clear it.
You know, Delaware outshot Hofstra in the second quarter, 12-5, and overall in the game, now outshooting them by just over 9.
And I think you've seen the two teams take different types of shots.
Sure.
I think you've seen, you know, Hofstra take a little bit more uncontested shots. They've gotten their hands free a little bit more, and they've been much more successful getting the ball on cage shooting.
Hofstra's first possession of the second half.
And also in Delaware, it looks like they made another adjustment on the defensive end. They went back to putting the long pole on Yanis at attack instead of trying to put two long poles on Hofstra's midfield.
Coach Tierney telling us at the halftime break that Mosier has been excellent in terms of an offensive option. There's his son Ryan Tierney. Connor Lally pressuring him on the defensive side for Delaware. Yanis hits Kavanagh. The junior last year against Delaware had 2 goals and 2 assists. That was a 13-7 victory in Hempstead, New York. Alderman picks it back up for Hofstra.
Very patient and unselfish possession so far from Hofstra. Nobody's taking a shot just to get a shot off. They're taking the right shots, finding the right guy. Nice 2-man game, working together to find the open guy.
Byrne getting pushed around now by Brian Pickup. The skip pass works out. Mosier is second of the game, and Byrne found him.
And unlike the other end, what we saw from Delaware, we just saw a perfect possession from Hofstra. There was probably 3 or 4 different times where Kavanagh, Tierney, Byrne all had chances to take a shot, and they didn't take a shot because they wore the defense down, and then they have to slide to Byrne, and Byrne does the smart play. He looks across the field where the open guy is, and as you see Alex Mosier, he does a great job of shifting to an open area, finds it, and then is able to beat DeLuca with the shot because DeLuca has to go from side to side.
The Pride has scored the game's last 3 goals, and Hofstra has scored 5 of the last 6 total. It's now 7-2 Pride, the number 3 ranked Pride, in position to go in 10-0 and to 2-0 in the CAA. And I'm sure our crew back at the LSN Broadcast Center hit on this, but Penn State is currently trailing to Maryland. That game is at the half, or just about at the half. And the Terrapins of Maryland were doubling the Nittany Lions. See if Delaware can come back here and at least even things up in this quarter alone. Delaware outscored just 1-0 in the second quarter. Kavanagh's got some room. Pardon that shot coming in. That was Paul Major for Delaware. His 3rd of the season.
Number 27, Paul Major.
Much needed goal from Delaware. Good offensive possession by Delaware here. They do a good job of getting the ball in Paul Major's hand. Former attackman, knows how to dodge. And again, I think this is the difference of what Coach Shillinglaw talked about at halftime was the shot selection. This shot selection from Paul Major gets the ball on cage, gets it to a spot to kind of off foot where it's hard for him to get across his body and make the save. And that's exactly Delaware be able to answer the goal from Hofstra.
Major displaying that quick release that was on the scouting report from the head coach, Bob Shillinglaw.
And for Delaware, this game gets a little bit more intense with UMass losing to Towson today. Towson beats UMass 11-8. That puts them at 1-1. So Delaware is really up against the wall here to get some wins in the CAA.
Towson number 16 in the country, according to Inside Lacrosse. Next week, our CAA game of the week will be a Saturday afternoon game between UMass and Fairfield. Just under 9 minutes to go, third quarter, 7-3. A big goal for Delaware. Paul Major steps up, the senior. Last season, Delaware went just 5-10, 2-3 in the CAA, lost 3 of its final 4 games, and they would love to just make a run here down the stretch, of course, being the final season of Bob Shillinglaw's career. Hofstra trying to sniff an 18th NCAA tournament appearance. And they're trying for their 3rd CAA tournament title overall, the 2nd under head coach Seth Tierney. This shot glazes over the top of the bar by Alderman. Does get backed up though. by Tierney.
And right now, I think the biggest question for Hofstra, we see how good they are up and down the field, offense, defense, special teams. The biggest question is when it comes May and it's 90-some degrees out, do they have a second midfielder that can go out there and play, second midfielder that can go play for those guys and get some good minutes and log some goals and contribute to the team in May?
Both teams, both units have very steady presences in the midfield, offensively and defensively. Bruner gets checked down by Griffin. He's flagged for that. Bruner got smoked from behind. Griffin's got the moss hanging out the back of the helmet. It went flopping after that push. We'll have a delayed penalty. Schweitzer trying to run away from trouble. Delaware gets things set up. Hirschman cradles for the Blue Hens.
Great opportunity for Delaware here. Flags down, you get a free possession. Maybe you can make something happen out of that free possession, make it a 7-4 game, feel the momentum coming to yourself.
Shot good. Big one for DeLargy. And now it's a 3-goal game.
University of Delaware goal number 30, Steve DeLargy, assisted by number 25, Will Hirschman.
And perfect play by Delaware there, realizing the flag's down. They have a free possession. They do a good job of having Hirschman. He's getting a lot of attention because he's dodged a lot and he's taking that shot early on. So now they slide to him, get the ball to DeLargy, uses Paul Major as a screen there and kind of shoots over his guy to the offside of Kincannon, changing his plane. Much better than the shot that he took in the second quarter where it was high to high and Kincannon was just easily to stop that.
It looks like Delaware too, Bugs, has targeted the offside of Kincannon in the second half thus far, so an area they'll look to exploit even more in the second half. Delaware wins the face-off. So the Blue Hens have a little momentum with 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And unlike last week, they're winning face-offs. So if you're winning face-offs and you're getting possessions, that usually makes your offense feel a little bit more comfortable because they're not pressing once they get the ball.
Major, a spark, he put a goal in, then DeLargy did so, but a bad turnover. Hirschman reaching out. I believe the pass was from DeLargy on the far side. That's his second turnover today. Hofstra right back. Transition goal for Luke Gomez, his second of the year.
And this is why Hofstra is so dangerous. We saw Delaware just go up 7-4. They win the face-off. They have an opportunity to make it 7-5, and Delaware has an unforced turnover by throwing the ball to the other side of the field. And again, there's Hofstra picking the ball up, clearing it. Their two defensive middies stay on in this situation, create transition, create numbers, and are able to work together to find a goal there. So it's a great job by Hofstra rebounding, but Delaware's got to do a better job on their possessions of not turning the ball over.
Gomez, a junior from Ambler, Pennsylvania. His brother Bo played at Navy. And Gomez's twin sister, Zoe, is on the Hofstra women's lacrosse team. Just his second of the year. Last year he had 1 goal, but more of a defensive midfielder. Comes up with a transition goal. Hofstra doubling Delaware now, 8-4. At the face-off X, Delaware has won 11 of 15.
And you can look at that a couple different ways. You can look at it from Delaware's position, like we have a lot of possessions. But if you look at it from Hofstra's side, they're doing a great job on the defense end. To have that many lost face-offs, only 4 goals given up so far, halfway through the third quarter, they got to feel comfortable with how good their defense is playing.
Yeah, 11 face-off wins for the Blue Hens, but 8 turnovers to go with them. Romagnoli, outlet pass, disrupted. Ball comes loose. Snared by Hofstra. Fleury wants to run. The Pride get it set up. Griffin, who scored a goal last week against Fairfield, remains on the offensive side. And Tierney gets it out to Yanis. 4.5 to play, third quarter. (9-0) is the best record through 9 games in Hofstra's program history. Can extend the win streak to 10. That would be still the 5th longest win streak in the program's history. Longest was back in 2006 when the Pride was number 2 in the nation. This shot wide from Kavanagh. We were reminiscing a bit earlier with the Hofstra Sports Department about that 06 season for the Pride.
Yeah, that was an extremely talented team. You know, ended up both their losses to UMass, one early in the season, one late at Stony Brook in the quarterfinals. But that was a team that was very successful, and I thought this team's going to follow in the footsteps and hopefully, you know, take it to the next level is what Coach Tierney is expecting.
Yeah, this number 3 ranking for Hofstra, the highest national ranking since number 2 in 2006. Kavanagh gets denied again, and DeLuca, we haven't spoke much about him today. He gets the stop. And with 3.5 minutes left, Delaware has it back. DeLuca, just a freshman from Farmingdale, New York. He took over the starting job after the Monmouth game. That was just the 4th game of the season for Delaware. He had 15 saves, most notably his best performance by far this year, 19 saves against once number 1 Rutgers 2 weeks ago. Hofstra creates another turnover. Shovel pass. Great look, the shot good for Byrne. No, he gets pushed down. It was saved by DeLuca. Now Byrne shoving back at Don Edson. For a moment, I thought Byrne was celebrating, but he went down to the ground because he was shoved. No flags thrown.
No, that was a quick flurry. You know, a good job by Hofstra's defensive midfield, getting the ball up the field. Brendan Lynch picks the ground ball up. He does a great job getting to Byrne, but I thought DeLuca did a really good job of getting to his offside to stop Byrne there. Byrne's a quick shooter. That's not an easy save.
Quick trigger, no question. Hirschman's got some breathing room. Hirschman fires, but it's wide. Con Cannon sharing some words with the rest of his defensemen. Here's another look at it. And Byrne just shoveled that away. You can't even see DeLuca save that ball.
No, he gets to his back pipe so quick.
Behind the shoulder, Romagnoli. Pretty finish to bring the Blue Hens within 3.
And where Delaware's having their offensive successes, they're doing a good job of dodging across the middle of the field and finding things. Here they get the ball up top, and then Romagnoli actually catches the shot from his teammate and able to put it over his shoulder, back shot, then able to put it over right into the corner. That is pretty nice right there. And that's just all reaction right there. That's all that is. As you can see, I think it would be more impressive if, I believe that was Parker Campbell, if he was feeding that right there, but I think he was shooting it. But that's a great job by Romagnoli to pick that ball up out of the air and throw it back in the goal behind his back.
Tell you what, Tanner Griffin was there defensively for Hofstra. His head was on a swivel. Many heads turned after that one went in. And how fitting, that's the first goal today for Romagnoli. He's got 30 goals now on the season for Delaware. No question, their top goal scorer. He had 1 goal in the UMass game last week. He now ups his point streak to 16 in a row. And he does so at a crucial time. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. And Delaware is down just 3 here at home to the number 3 team in the country, Hofstra.
And Coach Schillinglaw and his staff has got to feel pretty good here with 1:33 left to go in the third quarter. You're only down by 3. You've really been outplayed. You know, the only place that you really outplayed Hofstra is at the faceoff X so far today. So you got to think if you can make a stop here, maybe get the ball down the other end, make it 8-5, or even if you get lucky enough to get the ball, make it 8-6 to go into the fourth quarter. You're right there.
And back to your point, that DeLuca save now looks even more important after that trickery shown by Romagnoli.
And we've seen from the past, in the past couple weeks from Hofstra, sometimes in the fourth quarter they let that lead get away from them.
1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
Alderman weaves off a defender. Now Yanis underneath. Minute left in the third quarter. here at Delaware Stadium in Newark. Pass middle, Alderman had it bumped away, ball loose. Who comes up with it? A whistle blows from the official, who comes streaking in his Delaware possession. Well, to Bob Schillinglaw's point, he talked to us just before the third quarter got started. He challenged the Blue Hens at the half to value the ball more. Certainly some of the shots have been difficult, but they've stuck with it even though they've been outplayed mostly today.
They have, and here is tremendous ride from the Hofstra attack. They get a penalty there, but I'm sure Coach Tierney is going to be okay with that penalty because that's a hustle play right there. Those guys are trying to push Will Hirschman out of bounds. He does a great job staying in bounds. Flag down.
5 seconds left in the quarter. And the clock bleeds out. Romagnoli does not get his shot off. We have 1 quarter of lacrosse remaining here in Newark, Delaware at Delaware Stadium. Hofstra is clinging to just a 3-goal lead. Delaware is threatening. Come back with the 4th quarter. This is the CAA Game of the Week on Lac Sports Network.
This is the fan zone with games, inflatables, music, giveaways, face painting, and more. Kids ages 5 to 12 can sign up for athletic skills website for football, soccer, field hockey, basketball, or cheer with Blue Hens student athletes. Visit BlueHens.com/Downstate Day for more information.
Maryland 12-6.
Another CAA men's lacrosse score. Towson defeated UMass 11-8 earlier today.
No, I think that, well, the angle and then that goalie's like, if you're shooting at, you're coming to the near pipe, and the goalie's coming racing there. See how that goalie's racing at? Yeah, you see, that's why, because that goalie's coming to that pipe.
Yeah, Norm, stop dissing the guy, okay? It was a nice goal.
I mean, I can't tell if the guy's shooting at or passing. I think he might actually be passing it.
Yeah, he was. I think he was passing. You said he thought he was shooting it.
That's a pretty ridiculous pass right there.
Thank you.
If that's a pass.
I think he sort of changed his mind mid crank. See there, that looks like that step he takes looks like he's ready to angle for a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that crap out. It sounded like it came out wrong. Who, me? Oh, yeah. Bugs is involved too. Yep. And welcome back to Delaware Stadium in Newark. Lac Sports Network's coverage of CAA lacrosse continues tomorrow with a women's matchup between Elon and Towson. The pregame show will get things started at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and game time set for noon. The CAA Game of the Week only on Lac Sports Network. We have 15 minutes to go in regulation. Number 3 Hofstra leads Delaware 8-5. Bugs Combs alongside Brendan Glassheen. Thanks for joining us today. Game 1 of a triple header. Delaware makes some noise in that third quarter and has made this a tightly contested CAA game.
Here it is, man up opportunity, down by 3 goals to start the quarter. Would be a great play by Delaware to be able to have an opportunity here to score.
Another face-off win for the Blue Hens. They've now won 13 of 17 face-offs today. A strong bounce-back effort after falling in 15 of 18. And there's a goal! From the top, it's Hirschman. That's his first today. And Delaware is within 2.
University of Delaware goal number 25.
Man up goal here from Delaware. I think the key to this play, though, is Charlie Kitchen. He picks the ground ball up by the goal. He's able to catch the ball. He gets the ball to ice Isel. Isel does a great job of moving the ball to Hirschman, right, Parker Campbell, moving the ball to Hirschman right away, and Hirschman changes from his left hand to his right, from his right hand to his left hand to get away from the defender. He steps in, and he beats Kuncannon stick side high.
What a year Hirschman's having. 14 goals. His second man-up goal of the season. Last year he had just 4 goals. He's got more of trust from Coach Schillinglaw to shoot the ball, but he's not afraid to direct traffic. He settles the offense down, but when you need him to score, he can step up. He certainly does so at a crucial time. Romagnoli got his first goal, a fancy goal that we probably will show you again at some point later on in this quarter. It was that good. And then Hirschman with a goal. So 2 experienced players for Delaware with their first goals of the day at crucial times. Let's see what Hofstra's made of. Here's another test for a team that's undefeated and trying to show off its resume even more. Fourth quarter, tight game, clinging to a lead. They've been in this spot multiple times this season.
They have, and something that Hofstra's had some trouble with is some of those fourth quarter leads where they've had 4 goal leads. They've letting some other teams come back in and make it a little bit closer. So that's something really to watch in this fourth quarter.
The Pride led 7-2 entering the fourth quarter against Fairfield last Saturday. They won just 6 of 20 faceoffs today. Just 4 faceoff wins in 17 tries. This one snatched away, a caused turnover for Delaware. Nicely done by Brian Pickup, the redshirt senior, one of the captains for Delaware.
Good double team. He double teamed Ryan Tierney with his back to him. He's able to get the ball on the ground, gets the ball up to Alex Bruner in the midfield, and now that they're on the attack on the offense end.
Bruner will stay on the offensive side for Delaware.
And I would think here, this is a great opportunity. Hofstra doesn't play a lot of offensive midfielders. You have Alex Mosier on the field here. Alex Brunner's going to get a run at him, at least in the pick. And you got to feel Delaware's got a little bit of momentum with their last couple goals to see if they can capitalize on that.
Romagnoli, the redshirt sophomore, he transferred from Marquette. He's looking over Brett Osman's head. Just an inch or 2 shorter than him. Romagnoli got some room, and he finds the bottom right corner of the net. We have a 1-goal game here at Newark.
And exactly what we talked about with Delaware and what they're doing. Romagnoli does a great job here. We played with the pick game with Bruner, and it looks like he just falls down there playing. Brett Osman just falls down, and Romagnoli does a great job of continuing to go, and he gets the ball to the offside low hip ankle area of Kuncannon, and Kuncannon follows the stick and stays high. And Delaware's got to feel really good, 8-7 right now, and for the first half and first 5 minutes of the third quarter, Hofstra completely controlled this game.
You might see the last name there, Romagnoli. It looks familiar. Andrew's brother Ben played goalkeeper at Syracuse and Lemoyne. Andrew was also a Lacrosse All-American back in high school. Played at Christian Brothers Academy. 8-7 game. Delaware has played in 2 1-goal games this year. Its opener against Bucknell, a 13-12 loss, then an 11-10 win in overtime over Monmouth. And the only other 1-goal game for Hofstra was the Providence game, where it had a 5-goal lead, fourth quarter. The game got crunched down, and all of a sudden, they're hanging by a fingernail to pull that game out.
Yep. And you see off that face-off, Austin Haynes from Delaware makes a great ground ball play, picks it up. Instead of going to the goal where he had an opportunity there, he gets the ball in the attack's hand so they can attack from their offensive standpoint.
Hirschman against Brendan Lynch.
And you can tell from Delaware right now, the pep in their step, they just have a little bit more. They're moving off the ball. The offense just looks like they have a little bit more confidence in themselves.
The man cutting, DeLargy mishandles the pass. Luke Gomez had a hand on it. Now Griffin getting involved, uses the long stick, escaping trouble. Gomez runs after it. He's got it for Hofstra. Now let's see if the Pride want to attack quickly. They might want to slow it down here and get an efficient possession. Tell you what, Griffin and Gomez, they can be a handful defensively on Hofstra's side.
Yeah, when the ball is on the ground, they're tenacious. You see all 6 of the guys from Hofstra going for the ground ball. really working together and communicating through the ground ball. And then as soon as they get the ball up, they get the ball to their offensive personnel and change.
Hofstra's trying to get to 2-0 in CAA play. Delaware wants to even its record at 1-1. Kavanagh slides to the turf. Byrne hits a man cutting. Alderman knew he had a good look at it. Airmails the shot. A flag comes out after he screeches to the ground. Alderman knew he had it too. He sort of pounded the turf afterwards. Gets a high five from Alex Bruner. Some great movement here. And Byrne, such a quick presence to get rid of the ball. There's a little check there at the end, it looks like, by...
Yeah, it looks like Connor Lally gave him a little hockey elbow there. You know, you see that a lot in hockey where they give that elbow as they're going by, and it looks like they got him pretty good on that one.
Assessed to number 17, Connor Lally, check to the head.
And that's not what they need. You know, 8-7, you're feeling the momentum.
Sure.
You know, Hofstra's 10th in the country in man up. You don't want to give them a man up opportunity here. And again, it's an unnecessary hit. The shot was already gone. You didn't affect the play. You just hit them late.
Yeah, Hofstra entering the game today, 15 for 31 on the man up. Let's see how Delaware's defense responds. Delaware's held its opponents to just 33% on the man up, though, this season, so not bad. Yanis has his shot, trickle wide, and Tierney backs it up for Hofstra. 10 minutes left, fourth quarter. Hofstra has won 6 in a row against Delaware. The last time it lost was the 2011 CAA semifinals. Alderman gets it back to Byrne. Byrne's dump got deflected, so it is still Hofstra possession.
Delaware is able to kill that penalty. You know, now they go back to 6-on-6. So great job by Delaware's man down unit not to give one up there.
Tierney's got it. Patience here by the Pride. Mosier had an angle shut down. Pickup is on Yanis. Hofstra showing some zone D. Some man-to-man pressure now. Pass cut away, but Hofstra keeps the possession going. Spin dodge by Kavanagh, got some space. The feed to the crease. Byrne with too much mustard on that shot.
Yeah, I think Byrne just thought maybe he was having a defenseman slide to him quicker than he didn't really have much time, but that's a really hard play to make when you catch the ball with your back to the goal and you have to turn and shoot.
The stick level not exactly where you want it. What a quick shot by Byrne. Sneak attack on DeLuca. And Hofstra pads its lead. It's now a 2-goal cushion.
We need to take another look at this one because I'm not sure if Byrne even shot the ball. I think Tierney bounced it off his stick into the goal. Let's see this because it didn't look like he caught the ball. We got to rewind it a little bit more there so we can see that. And it doesn't even look like he gets it off. It looks like it just bounces off his stick and goes in. So great job by Tierney with the feed, putting it on his stick.
Josh Byrne, his 3rd goal today. One of 3 multi-goal scorers for Hofstra this afternoon. Jimmy Yanis has 2, and Mosier has 2. Here's another look at it. Very, very quick.
Hey, you know, yep.
Yeah, it clips just off the top of the webbing of the stick. There it is again.
Because it looks like what Byrne's going to do is he looks like he's going to probably try to catch the ball there and then maybe shoot it backhand. And that's what a lot of big Canadian play is. But great job by Byrne and Tierney, and that's what they need to do. It was 8-7. It doesn't matter how you get a goal there. You need one. to extend the lead 9-7 and take that momentum away from Delaware.
Tierney had 2 assists against Fairfield last week. He picks up his 12th of the season. Under 8 to play in the 4th quarter, Hofstra by 2. And now the enthusiasm has quelled a little bit on the Delaware side. The Blue Hens need to stop again defensively. Alderman gets his step. Yanis there for the backup. Alderman, a junior from Dowlington, Pennsylvania, made the CAA rookie team 2 years ago. Also played basketball in high school. His brother Ryan was a Temple football player. And a player down for a moment on the Delaware side, Austin Haynes, the long stick midi. Back to his feet. The training staff will attend to him. Haynes, a sophomore from Morristown, New Jersey. Had an impactful game against Hofstra last year. He had 3 ground balls and it caused turnover. See who comes out in his place here. Looks like Danny Simonetti is going to check in. Loyola transfer. Well, Tierney and Byrne just work some magic on the Hofstra offense. See what the Pride is made of here. Mosier misfires. Pride still have possession. How can Delaware's defense make Hofstra impatient, if there's any way of doing that?
Well, I think maybe one way to do that is to slide to them quickly, and what that will do is make them move the ball, make them make a couple extra passes, and hopefully within that transition, they make a few baskets.
Lally hooks his stick around the shoulder. A flag does come out just in front of the crease. This is a golden opportunity now for Hofstra. They could get a goal here, but they could get a delayed flag, and another flag comes out. Zooms out of nowhere.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if that's 2 different penalties on players, or if that's just different officials calling the same penalty.
Sure. Kavanagh roping around the defender. Byrne fires. It's off the post. Now Alderman wants to try. This one sails over the bar. I think now we'll get some clarity on what the flags are down for. So this is Tierney. He got wrapped around by Lally.
So that's probably the first one on Lally is a hold, and then that's a slash. So it looks like they're going to call Lally for the first one, which is a hold on Tierney, and then the second one, I believe, should be on Lally as well, unless they call a slash on somebody else.
Yeah, the second flag did come from the far side around the 15-yard line. I think we're going to have a timeout. Not sure. It looks like Coach Tierney might have called it there. Yep.
Coach Tierney called a timeout, and it is. So what they did is they called 2 penalties on the same player. Connor Lally, number 17. The first one was a hold, and the second one was a slash. Sometimes you get lucky, right? And I think the reasoning Coach Tierney calls a timeout here is because he knows now he has there's 6 minutes to go in the game. He's up by 2 goals. He's got a minute and a half of man-up play, and so he can figure out how long he wants to really put the play in and how long he wants to eat off the clock before they go into that play.
Just over 6 minutes left. Number 3 Hofstra trying to keep its unbeaten record, looking to go to 10-0 and 2-0 in CAA play. Tune into Lacrosse Now Face-Off as LSN analyst Josh Hawkins and Chris Marshall go toe-to-toe, debating and dissecting the biggest stories in the game. It's the hottest takes on the hottest topics. Lacrosse Now Face-Off Thursday through Monday right here on LSN. We've got a good one brewing here at Raymond Field inside Delaware Stadium. He's Bugs Combs, Brendan Glasheen also with you. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget, stay with us after this game. Drexel and Fairfield. You can never get enough of CAA men's lacrosse. Those 2 teams will tangle in a CAA conference game. There's Josh Byrne. We saw him just put one in the back of the net to pad the lead. So Delaware, though, made some noise. There's that excellent goal by Romagnoli. Major sort of got it going, and then a big goal for Hirschman, transitioning in the fourth quarter here. So Delaware made some noise. They got to get on a run like that again here.
They do, and they did it by ball movement as well as people moving off the ball. They did a great job of exploiting some matchups, of catching some of Hofstra's offensive midfielders down the other end, and that's what they're going to continue to do. But first, they need to stop the man up by Hofstra here and keep it a 2-goal game.
So Lally got penalized for some extra contact on Tierney. It happened twice, so a 90-second penalty. We're nearly a minute, 30 seconds into it, a minute left in the penalty opportunity. Let's see if Hofstra converts here. If Delaware gets a stop, that momentum pendulum might swing heavily in its favor. Hofstra offensively, we talked about the 4 left-handed guys. When they spread things out, 6v6, never mind now 6v5, it spells trouble for the opposition. Delaware's man-up defense, like we've told you, has been pretty good this year. Burns feed to the crease, batted away by DeLuca. Delaware picks it up. Big stop for the Blueheads.
That's a big stop. They clear the ball here. They're probably going to have a little bit more than 30 seconds here. Right about 24 seconds right now to go into penalty. They want to kill this penalty, and then they want to go on the offensive. But that's a great job by Delaware's defense. A minute and a half for Hofstra's man up. They got a good look. Great job by the defense and the goalie to be there.
10 more seconds of the man up for Hofstra. Delaware takes its time. Get that other man out on the field, and they do. As DeLargy lobs it to the far sideline.
And maybe here, Major has a short stick on him for Delaware. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try to shift him out and go to X, but now they actually switch the short stick on to Romagnoli, so Delaware needs to get the ball on his stick, and he needs to dodge right away so they can't make a switch and put a pole on him.
Romagnoli has Brendan Lynch on him. Hirschman has a goal today. Romagnoli has 2 for the Blueheads. With under 4 minutes to go in regulation. DeLargy tried to jump and shoot it midair, but he lost it again. Concannon leaves the cage, dumps it underneath, and Hofstra looks to take off as Diener had it stripped.
Good opportunity for Delaware here.
DeLargy catches a break, no question. He winds up, fires, Concannon stops it with the lower body.
Good save by Concannon, and a great job by Tanner Griffin to pick the ground ball up and get it out of the defense end, because it was laying around the middle. Won't let any Delaware guys pick that up. But it seems to be Steve DeLargy's had a lot of trouble today cutting through the middle, and he's been open 3 times, and he's dropped the ball 3 different times.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what'd you think of the shot selection there?
I think that they had him wide open, and you got to catch the ball. You're a senior. That's your job.
Hofstra possession, now under 3 minutes to go. Hofstra can go to 2-0 in the league. Delaware looking to go to 1-1. 0-2 is awfully tough in this conference. Last year, the Blueheads finished 2-3 in conference play. Hofstra went 3-2, lost to Fairfield in the CAA semis down in Towson. Yanis with some nice moves. Yanis, the bottom left corner, off the twine, and Hofstra leads 10-7.
Hofstra goal number 8, Jimmy Yanis.
That's his 3rd today. Big day for Yanis.
Good job.
So DeLargy just missed out for Delaware. Hofstra with some key moves. We noticed Tanner Griffin. He's been tenacious. That's the word you use defensively. And then Yanis has done such a nice job. He really does pick the right moment to score or facilitate for the Pride.
Extremely comfortable, and when you're looking at the attack that they have of Byrne and Tierney and himself, if he can continue to produce like this, that's a hard attack to stop.
Hofstra controls the face-off. Nicely done. Crosby Matthews has been solid in this fourth quarter. Talking about timing. Speaking of timing, Byrne, another goal. That's his fourth of the day.
Hofstra number 22, Josh Byrne.
And simply, Hofstra doing what they have not done in the past in the
Assisted
fourth
by number
quarter.
43,
And that's
Ryan
got to be
Tierney.
really, exciting for Coach Tierney to be able to see that again. They just find, Josh Byrne does a great job. His defenseman is pressing out because obviously Delaware needs the ball. So for all the young attackmen out there watching the game, if your defenseman's going to press out on you, what you want to do is back cut him. You want to cut to the back of his helmet, and it looks like that Tierney was able to find him there in the crease. Good finish.
British Columbia native Josh Byrne, a captain, transferred from Nassau Community College. He was a hockey player, a lacrosse player at that 4-year New Westminster Secondary School in British Columbia. Coach Tierney said, hey, Nassau might be a good chance for you to better your game and improve your skill set as Romagnoli puts through his third of the
Number 0,
contest.
Andrew Romagnoli.
And there's not a lot of time left. You see that Hofstra scored a goal, so they get the ball in Romagnoli's stick. They feel like that he has a chance to beat his man, and he does a good job. Kavanagh just comes off his pipe there a little bit, just to leave enough room for Romagnoli to sneak it through near pipe side. So you want to hold the crease there, if you hold the pipe there if you're Kavanagh. But a good job from Romagnoli kind of taking what was given him, because early in the game he scored to that offside in that same play, so he wanted to shoot the ball to the opposite side he did prior.
Delaware gets it down to 3. Key face-off here. Matthews in the skirmish, picked up by Bruner. Pardon, that's Austin Haynes for Delaware. In the hands of Romagnoli.
And Delaware's got to go here. They have no time. There's a minute 30 on the clock, down by 3 goals.
Charlie Kitchen, number 19 in white. We've talked a lot about Kitchen, one of the top freshmen in the country. We've talked about Ryan Tierney of Hofstra. Both freshmen have sort of been, I don't want to say non-factors, but sort of shut down in this game today.
Yeah, and I think they've kind of, taken what was given to them, especially with Tierney. I think he's done a great job of not forcing anything.
Delargy with a nifty shot going underneath.
University of Delaware goal number 30, Steve Delargy.
Fighting the whole time. Again, making an 11-9 game. Good job by Delargy beating his man and then coming down here with his left hand. And he gets a good chance to come back to his right, and he has his stick low, and he does a really good job of bringing the ball back high, because as you can see, Kavanagh drops with his stick, and then he's able to bring the ball up high to beat Kavanagh there high.
And Brent Osman defensively for Hofstra, sort of there at the very last second for that protection in front of Jack Concannon. Something we've talked about week after week. It feels like with Seth Tierney, the head coach, the protection in front of Concannon. 7 of the 9 games Hofstra's been in this year, Concannon has had double-digit saves. Big face-off win for the Prime. Concannon had 8 saves entering this fourth quarter. 40 seconds. Delaware needs a turnover as Tierney runs away from trouble.
And as they run this ball out, I've been extremely impressed with the Hofstra. I've seen them in games previously, but to see them in person and to see how they play the game and to see the things that they do offensively and defensively, and have kind of the only really flaws that I have seen at all from those guys is that they don't necessarily have a second midfield, and maybe at the face-off X they're not matching up against teams very well right now. So those are the 2 things of concern I would have if I was Coach Tierney.
The Pride can let the clock run out. And number 3 Hofstra remains undefeated, improves to 10-0 on the season, 2-0 in the CAA with an 11-9 victory over the Delaware Blue Hens. It is the best record through 10 games in program history for Hofstra. They keep the win streak rolling under Seth Tierney. And right now, fourth quarter, Penn State trailing to Maryland 15-9. So if that score holds, Hofstra would be the only unbeaten team in the country after today.
That's right, they would be. And the question would be is, do they go to number 1 or does the Syracuse go to number 1 if they win?
We'll take a break. We'll come back with the head coach of the Hofstra Pride, Seth Tierney, on Lacrosse Sports Network. Bye.